if you live in the United States of America, I've got some great news for you. Guess who's been lying to you? Pretty much everybody in the United States that has anything to do with our United States government. So, I'm going to repeat that. Anybody who has anything to do with the United States government, that includes police, that includes politicians, I'm going to read it for you right here. If you haven't done it, please educate yourself on something so important as the Constitution of the United States. It's going to explain a lot, and I know you think, oh, I already know it. No, you don't, because if you did, then you wouldn't allow everybody and their mother to be breaking the law. The law wasn't written for the government. The law was written for you. So the next time a prosecutor wants to wrongfully go after a citizen who's protecting their home legally and has every right to do, guess what? You can defend yourself against any police officer that goes to seize your weapon or to do anything that is unlawful. The law is the law, and it's written, and it's not to be misinterpreted, and it's not for any judge, any mayor, anybody to distort the truth. So here it goes. Here's your lesson, and I hope everybody gets this. Stay tuned, because this is going to be one of the best episodes ever. The Constitution of the United States of America is the supreme law of the United States, empowered with the sovereign authority of the people by the framers and the consent of the legislators of the states. It is the source of all government powers and also provides important limitations on the government that protect the fundamental rights of United States citizens. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. The need for the Constitution grew out of problems with the Articles of Confederation, which established a firm league of friendship between the states and vested most power in a Congress of the Confederation. This power was, however, extremely limited. The central government conducted diplomacy and made war, set weights and measures, and was the final arbiter of disputes between the states. Crucially, it could not raise any funds itself and was entirely dependent on the states themselves for the money necessary to operate. Each state sent a delegation of between 2 and 7 members to the Congress, and they voted as a block with each state getting 1 vote. But any decision of consequence required a unanimous vote, which led to a government that was paralyzed and ineffectual. A movement to reform the Articles began, and the invitations to attend a convention in Philadelphia to discuss changes to the Articles were sent to the state legislators in 1787. In May of that year, delegates from 12 of the 13 states convened in Philadelphia to begin the work of redesigning government. The delegates to the Constitutional Convention quickly began work on drafting a new constitution for the United States. A chief aim of the Constitution, as drafted by the convention, was to create a government with enough power to act on a national level, but without so much power that fundamental rights would be at risk. One way that this was accomplished was to separate the power of the government into 3 branches, and then to include checks and balances on those powers to assure that no one branch of government gained supremacy. This concern arose largely out of the experience that the delegates had with the King of England and his powerful parliament. The powers of each branch are enumerated in the Constitution, with powers not assigned to them reserved to the states. Much of the debate, which was conducted in secret to ensure that delegates spoke to their minds, focused on the form that the new legislature would take. Two plans competed to become the new government: the Virginia Plan, which apportioned representation based on the population of each state, and the New Jersey Plan, which gave each state an equal vote in Congress. The Virginia Plan was supported by the larger states, and the New Jersey Plan preferred by the smaller. In the end, they settled on the Great Compromise. It's sometimes called the Connecticut Compromise, in which the House of Representatives would represent the people as apportioned by population. The Senate would represent the states apportioned equally, and the president would be elected by the Electoral College. The plan also called for an independent judiciary. The founders also took great pains to establish the relationship between the states. States are required to give full faith and credit to the laws, records, contracts, and judicial proceedings of the other states. Although Congress may regulate the manner in which the states share records and define the scope of this clause, states are barred from discriminating against citizens of other states in any way and cannot enact tariffs against one another. States must also extradite those accused of crimes to other states for trial. The founders also specified a process by which the Constitution may be amended, and since its ratification, the Constitution has been amended 27 times. In order to prevent arbitrary changes, the process for making those changes to the amendments isn't easy. An amendment may be proposed by a 2/3 vote of both House of Congress, or if 2/3 of the states request one, by a convention called for that purpose. The amendment must then be ratified by 3/4 of the state legislatures, or 3/4 of conventions called in each state for ratification. In modern times, amendments have traditionally specified a time frame in which this must be accomplished, usually a period of several years. Additionally, the Constitution specifies that no amendment can deny a state equal representation in the Senate without the state's consent. With the details and language of the Constitution decided, the convention got down to the work of actually setting the Constitution to paper. It is written in the hand of a delegate from Pennsylvania, Governor Morris, whose job allowed him some reign over the actual punctuation of a few clauses in the Constitution. And at least one delegate, later referred to as a Democrat, refused to sign because the Constitution protected slavery and the slave trade. The process set out in the Constitution for its ratification provided for much popular debate in the states. The Constitution would take effect once it had been ratified by 9 of the 13 state legislators. But it was not required. During the debate over the Constitution, two factions emerged: the Federalists, who supported adoption, and the Anti-Federalists, who opposed it. James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and John Jay set out on an eloquent defense of the new Constitution in what came to be called the Federalist Papers, published anonymously in the newspapers, the Independent Journal, and the New York Packet under the name Publius between October 1787 and August 1788. The 85 articles that comprise the Federalist Papers remain to this day an invaluable resource for understanding some of the framers' intentions for the Constitution. The most famous of the articles are number 10, which warns of the dangers of factions and advocates of large republic, and number 51, which explains the structure of the Constitution, its checks and balances, and how it protects the rights of the people. The states proceeded to begin ratification with some debating more intensely than others. Delaware was the first state to ratify on December 7th, 1787, after New Hampshire became the 9th state to ratify on June 22nd, 1788. The Confederation Congress established March 9th, 1789 as the date to begin operating under the Constitution. By this time, all of the states except North Carolina and Rhode Island had ratified. The Ocean State was the last to ratify on May 29th, 1790. One of the principal points of the contention between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists was the lack of an enumeration of basic civil rights in the Constitution. Many Federalists argued, as in Federalist number 84, that the people surrendered no rights in adopting the Constitution. In several states, however, the ratification debate in some states hinged on the adoption of a Bill of Rights. The solution was known as the Massachusetts Compromise, in which 4 states ratified the Constitution, but at the same time sent recommendations for amendments to the Congress. James Madison introduced 12 amendments to the first Congress in 1789. 10 of these would go on to become what we now consider to be the Bill of Rights. One was never passed, while another, dealing with congressional salaries, was not ratified until 1992, when it became the 27th Amendment. Based on Virginia Declaration of Rights, the English Bill of Rights, the writings of the Enlightenment, and the rights defined in the Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights contains rights that many today consider to be fundamental to America. The First Amendment provides that Congress make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting its free exercise. It protects freedom of speech, the press, assembly, and the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. The Second Amendment gives citizens the right to bear arms. The Third Amendment prohibits the government from quartering troops in private homes, a major grievance during the American Revolution. The Fourth Amendment protects citizens from unreasonable search and seizure. The government may not conduct any searches without a warrant, and such warrants must be issued by a judge and based on probable cause. The Fifth Amendment provides that citizens not be subject to criminal prosecution and punishment without due process. Citizens may not be tried on the same set of facts twice and are protected from self-incrimination. That means they have the right to remain silent. The amendment also establishes the power of eminent domain, ensuring that private property is not seized for public use without just compensation. The Sixth Amendment assures that the right to a speedy trial by a jury of one's peers, to be informed of the crimes with which they are charged, and to confront the witnesses brought by the government. The amendment also provides the accused the right to compel testimony from witnesses and to legal representation. The Seventh Amendment provides that civil cases also be tried by jury. The Eighth Amendment prohibits excessive bail, excessive fines, and cruel and unusual punishments. The Ninth Amendment states that the list of rights enumerated in the Constitution is not exhaustive, and that the people retain all rights not enumerated. The 10th Amendment assigns all powers not delegated to the United States or prohibited to the United States to either the states or to the people. I hope you've enjoyed part 1 of learning about our Constitution. Under no circumstances are you to allow any public official, prosecutor, police officer, or any government official to take your rights away. Know your rights. Again, this is only part one of a series of documents that will teach you how to protect yourself. Watch this and learn from this and many others of the Robinson Report, and I will show you that you have more rights than you think you do. Stop them from taking them away and taking a stand today. Subscribe now to the Robinson Report and learn more of how you can make a difference. My name is The Rooster, and I only talk about the facts, the unbiased truth. I'd like to show people how to love. I'd like to teach people how to learn and how to make the right conscious decision, swayed by truth, honesty, and follow our Lord Jesus Christ. So please smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and refer me, The Rooster, preaching you the Robinson Report, on your Facebook. Text me to your friends and to your family all across the nation so you can help make a difference. I can help make a difference. Hey, can I ask you a real quick question? Who are you voting for? You can be honest.
What's the other dude's name? I forgot his name.
Biden?
Yeah.
You're voting for the other dude? But you don't even know his name.
I don't know his name.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yo.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Hey. Hey, everybody. It's the Rooster, a.k.a. Jerome Robinson from the Robinson Report. So I want to say, don't mind me. I'm unshaven. It's just because I broke my arm. I can't really shave myself. I broke my arm up by my shoulder, so they can't cast it, they said. The hospital said because it's too high. But I've definitely been cast on my foot. I broke my foot, and I need to have surgery done on it. They say I won't be able to walk for 6 months if I get the surgery. If I don't, I won't be able to walk again. I believe in Jesus. I prayed to Jesus. So I'm hoping that Jesus will do his thing and show that the doctors were wrong. Anyway, I'm asking you if you could possibly smash that like button. Do me a huge favor, help me spread the word, right? So I do these videos to get people to kind of open up their mind and use their head to expand their knowledge base. And really, I want them to stop the hate. And I'm learning to be a better Christian. And I'm not against what Black Lives Matter movement was supposed to originally represent, but what it's become, along with Antifa and a lot of other people, full of hate and misguided information, and people don't really understand their history. So me as a black man, I want to educate people, right? So please do me a favor, whether you believe in what I believe in, whether you follow, all I want to do is tell you the truth, right? So I know my history. I haven't ignored it. 44 years old. By the time you're watching this, I could be 45. Who knows? But I know. I study. I'm a research analyst, and I study, and I know my stuff. I used to wear a suit. I'm not in a suit right now. Don't mind me. I'm in my Jesus shirt. I don't try to, twist your arm to get you to believe in Jesus. Jesus existed. We know that. There's no disputing it. Whether he was the only Son of God, that's up for interpretation, right? Well, my goal is to get people to just stop lying to themselves. please smash that like button. Hit that like button on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to this and watch, right? And then share me with your friends and family. Share me on your Facebook, right? My videos, and text your family. Text your friends. Say, hey, watch this video. It's really, really good. It helps me greatly spread the word. The more subscribers I have and the more hours that people watch my content, the more likely other people will get to see my message, right? Whether you're conservative, whether you're right-wing, left-wing, it doesn't matter. I've got Democratic friends. I've got Republican friends. My mission is to tell you the truth. You haven't found that in news today. You haven't found that in CNN. You haven't found that in MSNBC. Some will even say you haven't found that in Fox News, right? I'll tell you, who funds Fox News and who supports MSN and how MSNBC and how CNN benefits. So I know the history of all this. I know what a lot of people don't know. I am that geek genius that studies, and sticks to the facts. I'm like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. So I don't want to bore you. I'm just asking you to help me open up your mind and open up the minds of others. Be malleable, be open, be willing to change. I learned in Philosophy 101. I went to college 4 times. I went Philosophy 101. I learned my favorite class ever, by the way. Philosophy. If you go into a discussion with somebody, be prepared. This is if you're smart, right? Be prepared to be malleable. Be prepared to be moldable. Be prepared to learn, right? I'll learn from my 5-year-old. I'll learn from my 2-year-old. I'll learn from my
4-year-old
father, who's 80-something years old. He's gonna probably kill me now. He's up there. It could be 90. I'm sorry, Dad, if I'm wrong. But I learn from anybody and everybody. I learn from you. How many of my followers or subscribers will hit me up, whether they call me on the phone or text me or email me or send me a message through either Facebook or YouTube and let me know, hey, you were wrong about this, or you should look at this, whatever. People have changed my mind. Trust me, I wasn't always a believer in Jesus. It was only the past few months. I wasn't always a believer in what I believe in now. Both, whether it pertains to former President Obama or current President Donald Trump. I didn't vote for Donald Trump, and I was at one point very much against Obama. I'm not anymore, right? I've changed my views. It means that I'm willing to change. I'm willing to learn new things. I'm not stubborn. I encourage you not to be stubborn. I encourage you to be open-minded. So if feel free. If you want to come on my show, I encourage you. I'd love to talk to you. Whether you're stubborn, not open-minded or not, come and talk to me. Come on my show and learn something new. Be a part. Preach your message. I would love to have you on there. I'd also love for you to be open-minded, to be willing to learn new things. Hey, Jerome Robinson, aka the Rooster from the Robinson Report. This is my little man right here.
We're out.
One of many. What is it? How do we do?
We're out.
What do we do? We're out.
We're out.